Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today, in an entertainment spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with actor and director Alex Tait. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Thursday headlines. In Mississippi news, 2,074 new COVID-19 cases in the Magnolia State and 65 additional deaths. The Mississippi State Department of Health has reported 2,074 new COVID-19 cases and 65 additional deaths on Wednesday. There have now been in Mississippi 268,672 COVID-19 cases and 5,917 coronavirus-related deaths in the state since March of 2020. In more COVID-19 news, top aides to President Joe Biden have begun talks with a group of moderate Senate Republicans and Democrats on a $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Biden's plan calls for an additional $1,400 payments to Americans, but senators from both parties raised questions about the stimulus checks. Biden will formally reinstate COVID-19 travel restrictions on non-U.S. travelers from Brazil, Ireland, and the United Kingdom, and 26 other European countries that allow travel across open borders. As many as 90,000 Americans are projected to die from the coronavirus in the next 4 weeks, the Biden administration warned in its first science briefing on the COVID-19 pandemic as experts outlined efforts to improve the delivery and injection of COVID-19 vaccine. The hour-long briefing on Wednesday by the team charged by President Joe Biden with ending the pandemic was meant to deliver on his promise of leveling with the American people about the state of the outbreak that has already claimed more than 425,000 lives in the United States alone. The striking death projection wasn't much different from what Biden himself has said, but nonetheless served as a stark reminder of the brutal road ahead. Wednesday's briefing was conducted virtually rather than in person at the White House to allow for questions from health journalists and to maintain a set timing no matter the situation in the West Wing. Fauci told reporters there was reason to be concerned about the impact of some coronavirus mutations on vaccines, but that scientists have plenty of options for adjustments to maintain the effectiveness of vaccines and treatment. In national news, U.S. terrorism alert warns of politically motivated violence. The Department of Homeland Security issued a national terrorism bulletin on Wednesday warning of the potential for lingering violence from people motivated by anti-government sentiment after President Joe Biden's election, suggesting the January 6th riot at the Capitol may embolden extremists and set the stage for additional attacks. The department did not cite a particular threat, but pointed to a heightened threat environment around the United States that it believes will persist for weeks after Biden's inauguration. It is not uncommon for the federal government to warn local law enforcement through bulletins about the prospect for violence tied to a particular date or event, such as July the 4th. But this particular bulletin, issued through the department's National Terrorism Advisory System, is notable because it effectively places the Biden administration into the politically charged debate over how to describe or categorize acts motivated by political opinions, and suggests it sees violence aimed at overturning the election as akin to terrorism. In business news, Fed stresses its commitment to low rates for the long run. The Federal Reserve pledged on Wednesday to keep its low interest rate policies in place even well after the economy has sustained a recovery from the viral pandemic. The Fed said in a statement after its latest policy meeting that the improvement in the economy and job market has slowed in recent months, particularly in industries affected by the raging pandemic. The officials kept their benchmark short-term rate pegged near zero and said they would keep buying Treasury and mortgage bonds to restrain longer-term borrowing rates and support the economy. And finally, in more national news, Biden oaths second only to Reagan and Obama with TV viewers. The first inaugurations of President Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama were the only ones to exceed Joe Biden's in popularity among television viewers over the past 40 years. The Nielsen Company said that 33.8 million people watched Biden's inauguration over 17 television networks between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. last Wednesday. Reagan's festivities in 1981 drew 41.8 million viewers, and Obama's 2009 inaugural reached 37.8 million, Nielsen said. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's some time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Aggression masks your fears. Aggressive behavior is not loving. Therefore, it must come from fear. So when you find yourself becoming aggressive, stop and ask yourself, what fear am I dealing with right now? Are you fearful over your job, money, or any other financial worries? Are you fearful your relationship is breaking up, or you want to break it up and you don't know how to go about it? Are you fearful about your children or other family members? Are you carrying around any fears of any possible illness, either real or imagined? Are you stuck and think there is no solution in sight? Whatever fear is running you, there is one truth that can add in your healing. You are never upset for the reason you think. Whatever you think is upsetting is simply your ego's way of trying to protect you. It is not protecting you. It is keeping you away from knowing your truth and knowing your true success in our world. When you find yourself becoming angry, fearful, or aggressive, stop and ask yourself, what am I really upset about? And remember, enjoy the day.
Alex Tait is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and director Alex Tait joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the reflection of his career and beginning 2021. Here's part of our conversation. What has it been like for you as you kind of look at the work that you've done? What has it been like for you to see the way that people have responded to your career over the years?
Hey, it's actually been really encouraging. Since getting out of college, I moved out to LA and just kind of picked right up. I went to school in Colorado, and I started small, working as a production assistant on The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp, and then I did some Amazing Spider-Man 2 in New York and flew back to LA. It's been a blessing to be able to start so fast, and it hasn't been like a fast process the whole time, but just it was like a fast start, and then gradually growing and moving forward is always what I'm trying to do, and I feel like I've accomplished that, and a lot of people have helped me along that journey for sure.
Yeah. And I think, too, one of the things I noticed when I was prepping for your segment initially, Alex, is that you've been able to not only, of course, to amass fans, as I mentioned, but also to be able to work with some amazing people along the way, and that almost becomes like an extended family. Has that kind of been part of the added benefit for you, and not only doing work that you love, but to be around people who love it just as much as you do?
I have been absolutely blessed in my career to work with the top people in the industry, and it happened for me very early on, and it's nothing of my own doing. I completely, other people helped me along the way get there. But yeah, I've worked with so many people who you definitely know the names, but I'm not a person who's interested in name dropping. But yeah, some of my favorite talents I've been blessed to work with for sure.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.